Why do you think the devs don't listen? So you guys have to understand that it's not just that like the developers don't listen. You have to be, when you get into a position as a game designer and a game developer, you really have to know when and where to take feedback from. Because there are a lot of ideas out there, and there's a lot of bad ideas out there. Everybody's got their bias. Everybody has the just do this. There's a lot of people that are emotionally involved, especially because Overwatch is a great game and gets a lot of people excited. But you can't follow everyone's feedback and advice. And sometimes even the majority is wrong. You have to learn to pick and choose. Now, I think the developers listen to certain things. I think they probably listen and decide, I think that's good. I don't know about that. They probably have specific avenues where they get some feedback. They definitely internally test things a lot. But ultimately, you just have to have a good mind for balancing, and you have to be moldable, flexible. And I think one of the big things as well is this is why experimental has been such an important thing, is that if you don't have a place to consistently experiment, then it's hard to improve. That's just true for everything, right? So I think that's just why I was excited with this recent quicker play change, although I hated quicker play, because this gives the developers the opportunity to try things and go, oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's try that. So they can actually learn more about what makes the game fun. Lose their jobs
what
and just,
do you think about a potential workshop buff? Basically, make workshop better for creating custom balance changes and the like, which then means that people can give better feedback by testing their ideas first.
The problem is the problem with custom feedback is Blizzard will never trust it. Never. Yeah, partly opportunity cost, yes, but also because Blizzard will never take your feedback. Never. Frankly, never. And it's not actually bad that they don't. Here's why. It's just not it's not a large enough sample size. If they found a way to, so here's what they could do. They could buff the workshop. They could buff the workshop. Whatever, make it more quality. Somebody comes up with a fun idea in the workshop. Helicopter Orisa. All right. Do you guys remember the arcade event they had with the Super Orisa or Ryan or something? And it was like Black Forest or what was that? Yeah. What they do is they take that workshop code and they pull it into quick play or arcade or whatever's going to get the amount, quick play or whatever, that's going to be, and there's your experimental mode. That will get the number of plays that you need. And then you could even put it in the arcade and triple or double the amount of XP that you get, so that even though it's not quick play, it still rewards people for playing it. And that would be the numbers. That would be a number that Blizzard would trust. So you can absolutely weaponize your community for testing and for ideas and get new perspectives. But it kind of has to be under their umbrella, which is not a bad thing. This is not like, Blizzard corporate. It's smart business, Imagine the level of motivation people would have for a chance to be put into the arcade. Like, people would go nuts. There'd be all sorts of cool changes and fun things to try out. And the funny thing is even if Blizzard doesn't choose you, there would be subreddits, or not subreddits, but a Reddit post with a link of all the custom games. And we could do community Twitter votes about this was the best custom game that didn't make the list. And so there would be a lot of motivation to try some things out there. Maybe I'm being a little bit too naive about it, but I think that that's not terribly unreasonable. So you could weaponize your community. You could utilize it. You could motivate people to try new, different things, and so on. Custom maps, right. And I think that's the key thing is that, okay, you guys want a good analogy? Here's a good analogy. What was one of the main reasons why Overwatch League failed? There's a lot of reasons, but one of them was because it was an organic, community-driven esports culture that was growing rapidly. Blizzard comes on, instead of guiding it and supporting it and culturing it, grabs it, rips it away from everybody else, all their ideas, all their management, all their leadership, and creates their own subset that is immune from external feedback, essentially. And so in that subculture, it is now an inbred, bigger than its britches thing. And Blizzard says, I don't want to listen to your feedback. They should have done is they should have used the culture that they already had, supported it, and grown it. Same thing here. Blizzard can't listen to everybody's feedback. So you don't squash people trying new things. You use them. You encourage people to do things, and then you selectively take the feedback. And it's literally like gardening. The gardener still gets the reward and all the praise for growing the big plant, but it's through like culturing what you already have. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Halo had this idea like a decade and a half ago. Exactly. And when people get obsessed, because people get obsessed with their own things, their own ideas, and if they're good, they're addictive. And if they're addictive, then everybody does it. And then now, I don't know if it's like an NDA, I don't know if it's a business law thing, but it's just like, for example, like think about all the things that we came up with, our rework ideas, and how fun those would have been to try in game. I would have killed to have those in game. I don't give a rip if Blizzard wants to take my ideas. I don't care. Anyway, that's my take on things. I think Blizzard has to find a way to weaponize and utilize their community. It's not going to be through Twitter messages and angry YouTube comments and Steam reviews. It's going to be through positive things that people try in-game and custom games and workshops, and interactions with the community. And that to me is like, it's not even the future of gaming. It's always how anything ever in the history of the universe has ever been successful. In politics and in gaming and business, you utilize your personnel for what they're good at. You encourage people to take initiative on their own, and you reward competence. You reward good ideas. You do not isolate yourself into a small little room with 12 other people and make decisions. You need vision, you need leadership, but that leadership needs to be utilizing the community. Think about it. Okay, let me give you a good example. I'm gonna pat myself in the back just once, okay? Think about how did we do our tank rework project, or our DPS rework project, or a support rework project? You guys remember that? I have my vision of how the game is. Now I like to think that my vision is good. I hope so. I think a lot about the game. I have a lot of experience in other games and competition and things like that. I put a lot of thought into it. And then what do? I say, I have some ideas, guys. What do you guys think? And then what happens? Wow. Now, you would not be able to do something to this scale with Blizzard, but you get the idea. So then what I do is I go through and I sift and I sift and I sift and I go, wow. And I discussed with you guys. I said, that's actually good, like, oh, wow. I didn't think about that. Or wait, I don't understand this. What do you guys say? And we spent almost 40 hours over like 4 weeks on and off stream going through this. And so what ends up happening is that, yes, some of our ideas probably sucked. Some of them were decent. But this is just something. So then what we did is we crafted an idea with me leading it, but you guys really giving me the ideas to craft into a single vision of something that we don't even know if it's good. That's the thing, we didn't even know if it was good. Some of our things, we probably cooked too much, but we had something that was different, unique, refreshing, something to experiment with. Pull up in the quicker play. You get what I'm saying? And try it out. It flops. All right. Why did it flop? Do we need to make some tweaks? Just the fundamental flop process. Rinse and repeat. When you're in a leadership position, it's not that all the ideas are your own. It's that you have a vision and you weaponize your community. And that's what I try to do with this.